the whole game has to be canceled, and all kinds of players got to miss games to take tests. Because of the absolutely zero people that got sick in the NFL ever. You know, just absolutely nothing. No sickness, no death, no nothing. They only have vaccine. They only have vaccine side effects are the only injuries. It's all vaccine side effects. They're like, oh, you missed the game. Oh, you was sick. Everyone laughed. Everyone knows, and nobody got mad. Everyone was like, yeah, I know it's fake. Oh, some dumb shit. Anyway, also, I was in the Safeway and I was buying cigarettes, and I heard this noise. It was like this crazy lady, and she was running, and I turned my body because I was looking towards where it was, and this little like tiny little lady in a black dress was like all crazy, and she like ran right into me, and right behind her was two cops. So literally, she ran into me, and then like bounced off me, and then the two cops grabbed her, and one cop with big arms, and he just fucking elbow like, and then they both drag her out of the store. And then a guy outside in a
Thank you.
there's a guy outside in a truck parked next to me, and he goes, "Yeah, she was running down the aisles. She was running from the cops like down the aisles, like the food aisles."
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Why? Was she stealing
I'm
food?
fucking. She looked absolutely. She looked like she was like insane. Like
I wonder what
I don't know
made.
why. Maybe she was acting. I think she was probably causing a disturbance in the store, and then they called the cops.
Where were you at? That's a high response time, huh?
I don't know because the cops were already there at that point. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see the whole thing, but it's funny just because like all of a sudden I'm just standing there in a busy store, and she runs into me, and then I'm basically like, I'm supposed to grab her or apprehend her or what the fuck am I supposed to do?
You're not supposed to do shit. I mean, you have an option. You could do something, but getting involved half the time, most of the time, it's not worth
Yeah, she could be like, "I'll stab you, motherfucker." She was like it was
it.
funny because she looked, she was wearing a tight little dress and she was little, so she looked kind of sexy, sort of. But it didn't look if you look too close. But then she was just all fucking. She's just someone losing her mind or something.
Yeah, but I mean, shit. What if she was a zombie? For all you know, like she could have been anything. She could have been a monster. You could have like accidentally like gotten the monkey paw curse from her because she touched you and you didn't even, you got involved.
I don't know, but they said she was fucking losing her shit in the store.
Yeah, people are losing their shit these days, man. It's just
Yeah.
like okay. YouTube Gestapo YouTube monitor algorithm Mr. Fucking bot man decided that I can't quote the
Huh?
president without informing people, so I'm going to inform everyone that everything we say is conversational, topical, comedical, and has absolutely no value. If you're going to decide to do something stupid, that's your decision. We're not telling anybody what the fuck to do. So I'm just throwing all that out there real quick so that y'all fucking get off my case. Like I'm not. We're not even monetized, so leave us the fuck alone, for real. Like it's one thing if I'm monetized, I might play your game a little better, but I ain't getting
That
paid
was funny.
shit.
I didn't even know we were on the air, and all of a sudden we have a sanction already.
No, I mean we got one the last one. It was like we went for 2 hours, great conversation. I had that funny joke at the beginning, then I was like, oh, now I don't have to write it down. And then I'm like, oh shit, good thing I can listen to it. Just they blocked it, and like our conversation was great, but we didn't say anything. And I went back and listened to it, and then I appealed it, and it's a 2 hour show. And
You can't
within
appeal it. It'll
under
never
30
work.
minutes, they reply back, we reject your appeal. And I'm like, what the fuck? You obviously did not listen to the whole fucking thing. Cause all we did was quote the president and talk about what I'm gonna talk about right now, which is why I'm like, just so everyone understands, we're talking about a fucking podcast that we listen to collectively, both of us listen to, because I went and I listened to it twice now. with the Dr.
Well,
McCulloch, the Joe Rogan episode.
oh, cool. Well, if
Yeah,
you
listen to it
if you
twice
get
now,
rid
so
of
I know more what you were talking about now.
well, if you get rid of asymptomatic spread, then there is no virus protocols. So it's kind of important to their agenda to make sure everybody thinks that you can spread it by just talking and you don't have any symptoms. But he outright says that if you don't have symptoms, you can't spread it. So that's the entire reason. That's the entire reason why we do all this shit. So, it might cause a giant uproar throughout the nation if we were stupid. We might
Right.
start doing. We might, start doing some shit. So.
I mean, yeah, heaven forbid we hold the president and all these people accountable. Like they're cherry picking their information. Like, come on now, what's the deal? Why you cherry pick your information? Oh, right, because you're in the pockets of pharmaceutical industries. Obviously, I mean, it's pretty apparent. Like I don't understand why people don't realize how simple it is when you really break it down. Like what's
It
going on?
is. It's really simple.
It's
It's really
incredibly
simple.
And also, if you
Like-
just literally, if you look up last year and you look at the things that they said, and then you look at this year and you look at the things they say, and you're like, they don't match. And then you go to the statistics and you start looking at the statistics, and you're like, why are they jumping around? And then you listen to that podcast and he mentions things like they literally are told in the hospital, only record the ones if people come in that are sick with COVID that have not gotten vaccinated. And then he talks about those stories about those people that it's like the one where he's like, what if I had told you that I did have the vaccine? And the doctor's like, then I would have given you this other substance. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, I thought it was hilarious when he mentions, like, because I was wondering what was up, but the president, the reason that President Trump at the time recommended bleach was because he was not scientifically so they gave him a report.
Yeah, right.
About the fucking stuff, and it sounds like bleach when you say the word. It's like, oh, I can see it sounds like hydrochloric bleach.
No, it's actual bleach.
I don't think so. No, it's like fucking antibody stuff. That's what it sounds like.
No, actual anything that's like a disinfectant. So yeah, bleach does kill it. He said it on there. Hydroxychloroquine is a medicine.
Yeah, that's the one.
And,
the hydroxychloroquine.
and that's also
what I'm talking about.
and that's also a good medicine that's been used for years.
Right.
But
and
also,
it sounds like bleach. So I was like, oh, that's probably why the Trump fucked up, because he thought he was saying hydro.
No, he mentioned also bleach. Also, he was accurate. He said bleach shows you wipe it on counters, it kills it. Yes, it's actually good. He did, but he never said
in the podcast. He said that the fucking he was saying McCulloch was saying that the hand sanitizer doesn't work. He said that stuff doesn't help.
The what?
He said the hand sanitizer doesn't help at all. The McCulloch on the Joe Rogan podcast. And
the only reason it doesn't help is because it doesn't primarily spread by touching shit.
Right.
So at the beginning, remember they said it's mostly in the air, but you could spray Lysol. Donald Trump said something about Lysol. They made fun of him. No, now it's generally accepted. It's actually on the Lysol ad. It killed. Yeah, he was actually accurate.
If you really look at it, it's like, it's really interesting because the stuff that Trump was talking about was correct in all means and could have probably helped get a jump on the entire pandemic, if you will, if people weren't so jaded and so like, oh, because Trump said it, we're not gonna fucking listen to him. And then,
no, they bought our media.
But then Biden says it, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna listen to Biden." Oh yeah. That's true. Yeah. Because the media was definitely against Trump.
They bought YouTube. What do you mean? They own YouTube.
Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah, all of them. They own all of them.
I know, like Joe Rogan literally says, he's like, I'm grateful that Spotify is allowing us to have this podcast because I know if we put it up on YouTube, it would be taken down. It's like everyone's on to YouTube. Like people realize what's going. This guy I've been listening to, the It's a Gundam guy. He's pretty good, like YouTuber, but I've been he's been getting knocked around, and it's like he mentions if you pay attention. YouTube literally find a person, pumps up their statistics so that they go up higher, so they have more following, more comments, all that stuff, puts them onto the front page. And
Right.
it's like it's makes perfect sense because then YouTube can control them because YouTube made them. And then this
Yeah, they're
lady,
doctors.
Susan, that runs the YouTube shit, they call her Mama Susan. That's the joke within the people like Ripa and Gundam and the other, like any YouTube controversial YouTuber is like, oh, Mama Susan ain't okay with this. Like
Yeah,
Mama
fuck.
Susan's the like, and you see it
Yep.
though. She goes to these big parties in LA and shit, and she's with these hot topic children basically. And like then when you go to YouTube and you go to the page and you go to the like the current stuff, they don't, dude. Not only is it mostly boring, like straight up boring. Like I watched 4 or 5 of them, and I'm like, damn, It's a Gundam wasn't kidding. You literally fall asleep to this shit. It's white noise. It's so
What
boring.
is it now?
On YouTube, you
Like,
go
what
and
is
then
the content?
there's a section that you can click for like if you just want to look for videos, like, and it's called where's my phone? I'll tell you what it's called exactly.
Or like the trending ones that are on the front page?
Bingo, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I saw one that was interesting. They already put up because you already know, I'm sure, but you already know that when you turn on your YouTube and you see the videos, those are selected for you. So there's
Well,
some
there's the
reason why
ones
they,
based on who you subscribe to and what you've already watched.
yeah, but they're also based on whatever else they want. So in other words, they're based on like, we want you to know another thing. So they already had a 10-minute
Sometimes.
video. No, they don't do it just what you want to see. They do it like what they think you should see because they put up a Peter McCullough debunked video, like he's debunked, and it's right on the headline. And I go, I didn't click on it because I go, yeah, well, nobody would ever go, we need to now we let him on and now we'll put an immediate debunking video. Like he's just 100% debunked. Really?
Right.
Like fucking 40 years of doctoring. The guy clearly demonstrates he knows every goddamn medicine, all its effects. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like if you
Well,
listen to him, you
yeah.
go, clearly a genius doctor knows, even if he's wrong, just the idea that you're going to debunk him and it's going to be put on the thing, so I'm going to watch it. One thing I would say to people, I would like to say is try to resist the urge. Try to really resist the urge. I know we're just two people, but resist the urge to click
We
on
got the
things.
future audience as long as this goes like stays live.
No, I mean like don't click on things that are like bullshit because you want to see how bullshit they are because they get money off those touches.
Yeah.
People do it all the time. They go, "What's CNN saying now?" And I go, "Fuck them, ignore them forever, ignore them." That's like just fucking done over ignore.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna need to go back anytime soon. I definitely didn't get any. I watched like 6 different videos on that page, and I was just like, oh, like another thing It's a Gundam
Yeah.
says that I'm like, oh shit, he's so right. Is if you're fucking gay, you're gonna be more likely to get picked up by YouTube to be like, let's skyrocket this person. Like this, and then it's like it's crazy because you get blowed up and you're unstoppable, and then you're doing your schemy shit on the side, and before you know it, it comes out to the light, and then it's like most of the fucking people can bounce back because they're Twitch, YouTube, these motherfuckers, they're like, hey, we're making so much money off this shit. We don't fucking care what you say. Like this one girl on the Twitch, she literally said the N-word. Don't fucking no problem. But then she keeps it up. She thinks she's untouchable. At some point, she gets banned or whatever. But it's like, they don't give a fuck. Like, it's ridiculous how much they've sold out, you know? And I get it. YouTube needs to make money. Great. But put like fucking effort into remembering where you came from. Like, you know
No,
what
it's
I mean?
not about. It's not. They'll cut off all kinds of revenue. They don't care. It's more about like a. It's more of like a political agenda.
It's like a shuck and jive, man. They want us all to shuck and jive. How bad you want your follow? How bad you want your public light? Like what's crazy too is like on Instagram and on YouTube, all this shadow ban nonsense. Like they literally depend. Like even today, I was watching. He just dropped it. Ty Rivera. He's a comic and traveling comic, but he's stationed in Vegas. Remember I told you about him, and then I think you hit him up for mics when you went through Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was on his thing, and he was like, I want to discuss about my body dysmorphia. But then he literally says, he goes, I want to do it on another cast, but I got to be careful what I say because I could get banned by YouTube because they don't want people talking about their issues because it's like it's promoting the fucking body dysmorphia basically. And I'm like, that's so
I thought they
fucked
liked
up.
body dysmorphia.
Nah, that's what Ty said. He's saying he's concerned and afraid because he'll lose his monetization, his following, his publicity through YouTube. He'll get shadow banned because if he's talking about his body dysmorphia and how he handles it, if they don't like what he's saying.
Fuck body dysmorphia.
I have body dysmorphia. A lot of people have body dysmorphia.
You think you're a female?
No, not. There's different forms of body dysmorphia, dude. Body dysmorphia also is as simple as you just don't like the way your body looks.
Oh, you just don't like the way your body looks?
Sometimes. I mean, I don't.
Oh, well,
I
no,
love
a
my
lot of people
body.
don't.
I love my genetics, especially. That's one of the reasons that I feel the way I do about a lot of things going on in this world right now. Like I really am grateful for the incredible fucking genetics I have. But my grandma used to tell me, you know, our family came from generations and generations of plague survivors. You know, like that's the thing.
I thought that body
this
dysmorphia
virus
was.
ain't nothing but another plague, but it's not even close to a plague. But it's
I
you
thought
know, it's being treated like a plague.
I thought generally speaking, it was like when you thought you're the opposite gender.
No, that's technically that's a form of what it would be is a subcategory of gender dysmorphia. I mean, sorry, body dysmorphia, which would be categorized as gender dysmorphia.
Oh, gender dysmorphia. That's what I was getting.
Right,
It's
which
not-
is in the body dysmorphia category because it's.
But it
it's
usually
something
means more than like you think you're fat. It means like you think you're like another person, or you think you're like a.
I mean,
Like, you know-
it's what you call on a spectrum, man. So it can go to different types of extremes.
No.
But in all reality, if you're obese and you're doing nothing to change the obesity, then you probably wouldn't have body dysmorphia. It's more likely like okay.
You
so
know
in
you
homos-
would be then. You know what they call that? They call that a fat piggy morphia. Yeah, where you're like you know, like I feel like I'm a fat person, you know, but really I'm a big fat fucking oink oink pig. And I'm speaking for myself, by the way, YouTube. I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm telling you.
Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid we have fun. Well, we're not.
I don't
even
think they should be
monetized.
talking so much about how fat people are because we had a very rich, prosperous nation.
Yeah.
And it's sort of natural for us to gorge out on delicious steaks and just become fat. So if you
Well,
think
I've been
about it,
saying that.
it's kind of a new prejudice to be like, you know what it is? This COVID, it's all the fatties are getting it. And I'm like, I know it is the fatties, but it's real convenient because your body's real nice. Like everyone is telling me, they're like, it's those goddamn fat pigs. And I go, yeah, but you're like a 150-pound dude. Like, of course you want to say it's someone else. You know what I mean? And you know, it's because you're so healthy. And I go, a lot of people aren't even healthy. They're just skinny and they shovel all kinds of garbage into their mouth. You know what I mean? But people just have that, they have better metabolism.
Yeah,
like me.
Or they.
I'm kind of fat, but I might be really fat to some, but I never get really fat. Like I never go from 205 to 280. I never just fatten up. I always go, oh, I'm 198, and then I go up to 210. Like it's like no matter how much I eat, it always stays in there. It doesn't some people gain like fucking lot of weight, man.
Here's the thing. Okay, in general, there's the thyroid. So,
hey, could you put your mic closer so I could hear you better?
Yeah. Can you hear me better now?
Kind of,
Maybe
but
if I turn my mic up, it's up. Let's
yeah.
Max in. How about now? Can you hear it better? It's hard to know. Is it better now?
A little better, yeah.
Yeah,
there's
the
a
thing
setting on here I
is,
can see.
Like thyroid can be one or the other. So a thyroid issue can create extreme obesity levels, but it can also create the opposite, where you're constantly too skinny as well. So a lot of times people also miscontribute metabolism and stuff like that, and not realizing they actually have a thyroid condition as well. So that's another thing to consider. But I will say this, like in general, I agree with what you're saying. I've been saying that for years, is like in America, everybody has the privileges to pretty much essentially live like kings and queens. So therefore, obesity made perfect logical sense, especially in America, because you live this specific type of life. But the other reason that we have profuse obesity, though, is mostly because of the foods that we have offered by comparison to the people's genetics. Most people do not truly pay attention to their genetics. Like natives, especially, like American natives, their bodies are designed for a very specific type of diet. And that specific type of diet is not being utilized, and a lot of them are impoverished, so they're obviously going to be eating the foods that are within their means, which are not good for them to be eating to start with. If that makes sense to you, I'm not sure. But, like, obesity is as simple as also your diet in general based on your genetics.
Right.
Like, some people just can't eat certain things because they will... Like me, my main problem is my acne. Like, I ate KFC the other night, and I'm dealing with this fucker, and it just popped up, and now I'm like, damn it, it didn't disappear, though, so I'm like, fuck. But, like, certain foods, if I eat them, like, if I eat Domino's pizza, I break out.
Oh, if I eat Wendy's, like, at night or some shit, I'll be like, I feel like something inside me, like, got inside, like a poison or something. Like, it's in your... Like it's in your body, the bread. Like literally, it's like in you, and you gotta fucking digest it and get it. It's all in your whole system. It's like you can actually feel it. I'm so sensitive, I can feel it in. Like I put something in my blood that's like it makes you feel. You start to feel gross, like you did something gross and shit.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
If you know your body, that's the truth. Like more people, if they pay attention, they understand their body. Like with me, I'm getting so many more of the side effects on this Wellbutrin. I'm actually taking the bupeprone, which is like it's like the Wellbutrin, what do you call it, generic version, but it's the same drug. And
Another thing to point out on this note was that okay, so a lot of times FDA, the Federal Drug Administration, the Food and Drug Administration, is accused of. Okay, well now it's plainly obvious that they're like totally in cahoots with the vaccine companies, because they had a hearing on it, and then all these people testified, and then they just went ahead and approved everything anyways. Like they have thousands of people. It's on YouTube even. There was a hearing. People made 3-minute presentations. They went through all the data. But anyways, what I've heard is that this is like something that like people have made the case that since the FDA and Pfizer are in cahoots, Pfizer and those companies make insulin. So actually, there's actually a reasonable case to be made that they approve the foods that cause diabetes, so that we'll get diabetes and then we'll buy the insulin. See, it's a great market if you can do it. It's a great business. The business model is no matter what you eat, you get diabetes, and then you come to us to get the medicine for the diabetes. It's the exact same business plan as the fucking vaccine. We make the virus, we promote the virus, and then they were like, okay, now you're going to get sick if you don't, you're going to get sick if you don't get the vaccine, but now that's not enough. Now it's the law says you have to get the vaccine. So what a perfect business model. It's exactly like crack. Crack is, you're hooked on crack, and now you want some more crack. So you go suck a dick somewhere, and you get enough money for that crack, okay? And then they'll do anything for it. And then I go, what a perfect business plan. So what I do is I just sit back on my couch. I wait till they go suck a dick or rob somebody, and then I don't got to do shit. I just hand them the crack and collect the money. And then people are like, how could they do that? I go, well, ask a crack dealer. How could you sell crack to an obvious crackhead? That would be immoral and sick. They can do it because human beings are capable of fucking anything. Human beings will eat another human being. George Carlin said it best. He goes, a rat will do a lot of disgusting things, but a rat would never even think of eating another rat. It would never cross his mind. He would be like, I never even thought of that. Human beings they're special creatures. They're capable of doing fucking anything. So the government was supposed to be the ones protecting at a very minimal level, just protecting, because they'll go, every single person is capable of evil acts. So if you're in the government, you're just as likely, if not more, to be evil. So that's why the government exists, to stop them from being able to do shit. You know what I mean? Like the governor. The governor likes power, and he likes to whatever he likes to do in his spare time, whatever sick shit it is. He shouldn't be able to do it because he's just one guy. You know what I mean? Like priests or anything. Everyone's a potential pervert. That's the way we should operate our government.
Corrupts.
It does. It does. Anyways. But anyway,
I mean,
thanks YouTube for banning us. Thanks for banning us, YouTube.
Well, no, what they did is they gave me my my first official. It's like a warning. They took down the video, but I appealed it with common sense. They didn't accept it, and that made sense. Fuck them. I attempted to get a hold of them or whatever, but it seems like it's common sense. So then they said, if you keep it up, we're gonna give you your first strike. We give you your first strike. You can't go live or post things for 1 week. You get up to.
Your appeal should be. Your next appeal should be like, but what about you guys should go eat ass?
Yeah.
Have you thought about that you should eat ass?
Yeah, it's healthy.
You go, sorry, Nazi. I'm sorry, Nazi overlord.
Yeah.
Address them as Hitler. You go,
right.
I'm sorry, Miss Hitler. I didn't realize.
Mama Susan.
Sorry, Hitler, Susan. I didn't realize how Hitler you was all.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Oh yeah, that's the other thing too. Though we were talking about obesity, and then the virus and people accusing the fat people. But I did find it interesting on Joe Rogan podcast with Dr. McCulloch. Dr. McCulloch said that it attaches to the fat cells.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah,
you're more likely to die.
Interesting, and then I'm like, oh, okay. Like it's not just that people are obese; it's just that the spike protein or whatnot attaches to the fats to get around the body or whatever, or to stick in the body or whatever.
I mean, not to dwell on Hitler too much, but I don't know if you know what Hitler was into, like personally. And we all know Hitler didn't. We don't. No. I mean, like yes, we'd like to get high, I guess. But
they made him high.
They made him do it.
Oh yeah, that doctor dude, that doctor was so smart. He got him jacked up. Well,
nice.
I think he liked how he felt. Yeah, but motherfucker was in insanity.
No, if you read his book though, he has a very good. One of his main things. I'm actually sort of like him in a way.
Mein Kampf.
Yeah, his children's book, exactly.
Yeah,
but
it's a great children's book.
No, he liked everybody to be like beautiful and like gorgeous hair, and he wanted everyone to just be. He wanted a pure. He thought the race. You know, his actually things he says will be a lot like people say about America. Everyone got fat. Everyone got disgusting because we let everyone slide. His idea was we need a tougher nation. We need to thin out the shit. But the point that he was like, let's kill the fucking disabled people. He would be like, in America, if he was alive now, he'd be like, kill the fatty. He's like, trim out the infirm, the old. Like he would literally think old people are gross. They are kind of. There's something to be, if you're compassionate and loving, you don't think of old people as, you think of them as formerly young people who are just living out their years, and we take care of them. We help their groceries to the car. We take care. But some people are like, that's why the COVID is so disturbing, because it feels like, because from beginning to end, it actually feels like a cleansing.
Yeah, well,
it's like
nature.
No, there's cases to be made that since it's like public knowledge that Fauci was pouring beakers and shit and trying to increase literally we have a guy. It's public knowledge was like going, how can I make this virus stronger? And everyone knows this, and we just go, oh, that's just one of those things. Like literally, he's like, it's part of science. You need to see what happens when you, like, if you have a bad deadly virus, how can we make it more deadly? You know what I mean? But literally, these people are probably like, what we need to do is Social Security is collapsing, and if we could just trim off 25% of the senior citizen, and then we could get rid of the fat who are eventually going to really tax the medical system because they're going to have all these problems.
Like, conveniently enough, that also cues into your disability, too. Like, there are people that are disabled that are running on the social system.
Like what?
Well, the people that are on what's it called, SS supplemental Social Security system or something like that, disability incomes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, they're running out. Yeah.
People that are suffering from Down
Ardos.
syndrome or anything that creates some type of thing. Even people with autism get it, like, but also people that have like actual disabilities, like broken legs or something. I don't know, like not broken, but paralyzation, whatever. But that system is the same system. That's the same money pool, the Social Security, system.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. So that it's not just the elderly, but also the disabled that you would want to knock off too. Like in general, but like
Right. So it's very much like Hitler.
Yeah, but it's not.
Although-
like if you really look at it, though, I mean, statistically, not nearly enough people are deceased to really start thinking this way. Not at all. It's more just it's a virus that is affecting people.
No,
Right.
because the forcing of the vaccine, you have to wonder what the long-term effects of that are.
Oh,
Because
big
it's
time. I
so-
mean, I like when that Dr. McCulloch, what he said is that it takes like up to 6 or something odd months in order for it to dissipate all of that stuff in your system. But then with these boosters, it's basically doubling down. So if people really fall into this niche where they're like, I trust, so they keep getting boosted, it's gonna make sure that they have that shit in their body.
Yeah, I forgot that he said that. That's a good point, because he said yes, exactly. You could wear off the effects, like you just said. You could wear off the effects of the first, but if you keep getting it. Another thing I heard, I don't think he even mentioned, but I heard on another podcast, was that a booster, generally speaking, is a much, much smaller dose of what you got.
Right.
Of generally speaking in vaccines. It's like a booster, it sounds like. It's like a little more, like a boost.
Right.
It's like topping off a soda. You have a soda,
It's
you're
a
going to give
bump.
you a little more.
It's a little
That's
bump.
not the case. The booster is the exact shot of the exact same thing. It's the same amount. It's not a booster, it's the same.
Well, I
It's,
don't
the,
know.
it's like
I'm no
a heroin.
advocate.
Anyways, it's like a heroin. You take heroin, you don't get a heroin booster, you get another heroin. You get
Well,
another
it's like cocaine. You get a bump. Keeps you
right,
going.
but that's not the booster, nor is it actually a vaccine. It's not actually a vaccine, and it's not actually a booster. Everyone's made the case that a vaccine is traditionally a small amount of a virus. So you get yourself in it and helps your body develop immune to it.
Yeah.
So you inject a little bit of COVID in yourself so that your body will fight off COVID, and then your body gets good at it. But this isn't the same thing. It's
No,
more
this is synthesized.
no, it's something to do with your cells. That stuff's very complicated to me. The spike protein and all that. I still,
Right.
to this
Yeah,
day,
that's why we don't talk about it.
I've
I mean,
heard
we
of
discuss
many
it,
angles.
but-
Right, but what Peter McCullough said matches with stuff I've heard even like 8 to 10 months ago from other doctors who talked about it. About
Right.
the danger that the spike protein spreads to your heart. It spreads out. It goes all over to you. And he didn't even mention, there's things he didn't mention, that it actually has accumulated in ovaries. And a lot of people think it's to make it so we don't make so many people. Part of their agenda is
Yeah,
people are no longer. So
that's
man,
just
it's some sick.
stuff I
It's
don't believe in stuff.
sicko.
Like, I don't buy into any
I believe-
of that. I really don't.
What's that?
I don't buy into any of that. I don't buy into the micro machine shit that like little robots. I don't buy into the what you just said. I don't buy into a lot of that. I don't believe any of that. I think majority of what's going on right now is very simple. Two things. Number one, it's an experiment. It's and he mentioned that in the podcast, is that it's literally a volunteer to be a part of an experiment, because this is literally normally to make appropriate medicine, this type of situation, there are multiple years involved, which would have meant we would have to be doing research for many, like up to 4 or 5 years even, to verify and make sure before giving it to all humanity. But
So what's the
instead,
part that you
because of the
don't- what's the
emergency
part that you-
protocols, it was rushed into fucking everybody, and therefore it's literally everyone that has vaccinations is a part of a massive scale experiment. And what I believe personally is that it's all about the money, and that's it. It's very simple. I believe very simple. I think it's very, very simple. It's really as simple as this. It is about the money. Because if you pay attention, the only thing that's really obvious, and it is unavoidable truth and fact, is that if this was truly like for everybody and for our health and for the glory of saving the entire human race, then they would not be profiting at all. And Moderna themselves literally stated, we will not make profit off of this vaccine until the fucking world's been took care of. This stuff's been done. But now, 3 or 4 months back now, I think it was even as much as, they literally are getting a profit. And they released the data. They said, we are now making a profit off this.
They made $33 billion. He said on the podcast, $33 billion in profits. Either Pfizer or Moderna, I can't remember.
Pfizer he was talking about. Yeah, Pfizer separate from Moderna, but yeah, it's a similar
normally
problem.
their normal profit. Their normal profit is $3 billion, and they made $33 billion. So
what he said in the podcast was that traditionally, when you release a medicine, that the goal would be to make one billion, and then what he said they made 33.
Yeah, well.
So he's saying, look how much way beyond their goals. Because Joe Rogan was saying.
What was the part that you're saying What was the part you were saying you don't believe in? You mean like the more extreme theories of what the thing?
Yeah, the stuff about fucking trying to create ovary conditions and infertility and ways that they don't procreate, and also the parts about like just in general like targeting elderly and disabled versus everybody and stuff like that.
No, I will say, though, that some of these same doctors were on Brett Weinstein's podcast, including McCullough. He did one like 10 days ago before that one. That one's worth listening to that I haven't got to yet. But he actually had a doctor on there who created the RNA. His name is Robert Malone.
Yeah, it's a lady, right?
No, his name is Robert Malone. He's part of the creator of RNA technology.
Well, there's one of the guys that created the thing, and that doctor was like upset about it. They were saying like.
But anyway, he points out that they've already measured that there's accumulations. They've measured it. It's not a theory. They measured that there's accumulations of the spike protein in people's ovaries. So it doesn't prove that there's intentional, but it doesn't prove like that it could go along with your theory, which is you do something rushing.
Yeah.
If you rush things can happen that you're not aware of. It could also be intentional.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah.
But the reason I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying presenting a theory. The reason why good people, because McBride is the same way, and like you, the reason it's because we don't torture human beings on a general basis. I don't know about you, but I don't go out and like inject shit into people, and I don't go like, oh, maybe 1 million people will die. I don't think in terms of one death. I've never been involved with one death in my life. I'm not into death. I'm just a person who I would be like, if I saw a person die, I would be like cry. I'm one of those people. If I'm outside, I saw a person die, it would be a traumatic event. But these people are a different kind of people. They think, you know what I mean? There's people, they think in terms, you know what I mean? You don't know the kind of things that Bill Gates...
You're talking about conspiratorial, but I'm going to tell you, once again, this is how I value. If they truly wanted to do things like, let's say, depopulize, all right, they have the means to already do this, okay? And they have proven at this point, based on what's gone on in the last 2 years, they've proven how easily gullible and manipulated the fucking majority of Americans are, especially. If they truly wanted to eradicate people, it would be as simple as literally what they already know how to do, which they've done, and it's been proven, is by infiltrating these marches and different things like that, the covert operations, the dark operations in general. They could literally create fucking terrorism within the country and literally target people and literally kill off hundreds of people in mass amounts and pull it off. So
I agree,
if it was
kind
really
of, but
about something like
right,
that.
But I'll say this though. I will say this though. If that is the case, and that is something that does cross the mind, then why would they do all this stuff so incrementally? In other words, they do everything in. No, they do it incrementally because they have to. Because they don't want to trigger. There's 300 fucking billion people in America. There's a lot of fucking firepower and people power. So if you do the wrong move and people know about it, as you can see, like with George Floyd or something like that, if something happens and the people decide to fucking do something, man, it lights up like a fucking fire, right?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. If you look at the results of those marches, I've seen this thing. It was on YouTube once again as well. So Sarah or whatever, Mama Susan, don't get after us because I'm just reporting from things I
Oh
saw
no,
on
we're fucked.
YouTube.
We're fucked already.
Whatever.
We're already.
The point is this, okay? Literally, it was this black dude pointing out this shit, and then the other black dude was like, "Yeah, that shit's lit. Like, listen to that shit." But basically, look at what happened, okay, with these marches, okay? Ain't nobody, they made billions of dollars in fundraising, but ain't nobody built a community library, ain't nobody built a community center, ain't nobody built shit to help the fucking people.
That
This
is true,
has
but
always been the truth, okay? These movements, and this is also why I got disparaged to begin with too. The movements do not have any effect other than temporary releases of dopamine.
this is true. But a worldwide riot, a countrywide riot
Would
on
never
COVID.
have you seen how people are behaving right now? It would never fucking happen.
It's part of the reason why it doesn't happen is
I
because they
have
didn't do it
lost
all.
faith in the people of America's ability
It's
to
because-
use common sense and critically think for themselves and rationalize. Because if they were able to, then as far back as when you were saying the same thing to me, why are people marching for these black rights when they should be marching for the fact that we're all suffering an impending doom of tyranny?
I agree with you, but I'm saying that part of their strategy was to do all these little things incrementally to wear people down.
Well, that's what they've been doing. Sure, yeah. No, that's true. I mean, putting the mask on alone is already enough. Yeah.
Putting it on, taking it off, putting it on, taking it off. You're free now. Now you're not free. Just endless. It says no. Another one is favorite. The best one to me is the idea that it's the virus. No matter once you start to figure it out, oh, there's a new strain of it. It just can always mutate. It's like a bullshit story. It's literally like, I owe you money. Oh, I got lost on the way to the bank. It's like whatever. You always, someone always with an excuse. Oh, I'm not able to pay you. My check didn't come in. Oh, because of this and this. It's just like they always have a new excuse. So it's just we're too trusting. We're too stupid.
Well, and I mean, look, man, look, mutations happen, variants happen. That's logical and real. That's why if you think about it and you look at it, the reports about the Omicron so far are saying that while it is more contagious and whatnot, it's also far less effective as far as the deadliness, because ultimately the end goal for a virus at all times is to have survivability above all else. It doesn't want to kill off all its hosts. And that's one thing, if you remember, I told you, I think last year or maybe even 2 years ago, what I said about how viruses work. Because it's illogical for a virus that's whole entire goal is to survive, for the virus to kill off all its hosts.
I guess.
So therefore,
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Eventually come to terms where it's able to basically go through bodies, pass through, survive. That's why they're saying now, they've been saying it earlier in this year, and they're starting to go toward it. They're going, we're getting closer and closer to an endemic. And the endemic means basically, you get similar to a flu shot. You get your vaccine once a year or whatever, or every 6 months, blah, blah, blah. So when they hit that endemic point, that's when it becomes far less deadly, but it also becomes, we'll see, but I'm guessing, a necessity where you have to keep getting boosted or whatever. But, this is the thing, man, okay? Look at the medicine.
No, I don't believe in none of it. I don't believe in none.
Take, okay? There, even just look at the opioid crisis, okay? There are several examples where medicines that have been released and people fucking massive deaths and everything, okay? But it doesn't. It literally it's like it doesn't matter. So whether people get sick from the medicines and stuff, it doesn't matter because they have protection. So it's literally what's going on right now. It's like even if people start dying in let's say 6 years from now, we discover so many massive problems, and everybody at that point, just about for the most part, has taken it and been taking the vaccines or whatever, it won't fucking matter at that point. It really won't. So it's not even about the symptoms or the problems with the vaccine at all either. This is really mainly the main issue right now, is that people just need to pay attention to the fact that there should be no profit off of this vaccine if it's about helping the entire human world. That's the simple basis. If nobody's paying attention to the fact that there should be no profit right now. Nobody should be profiting off of this shit. Nobody. Even Amazon, even fucking Microsoft, all these motherfuckers that are profiting right now, should not be profiting if this is such a fucking world together crisis. Ain't nobody should be making money, period. You dig? That's what I feel. And until people start rationalizing that way, they're screwed. Because they've been taking away our rights incrementally.
Well, I will say this, though. I'll say this, though. So, okay, so if you say, okay, well, it's all a thing happening in nature, and then their response is evil because it's profiting it. So that's a nice way of saying it is happening, but but if it was something that they're manufacturing, that would actually go along with the profit thing.
Well, here's
like I said with my crack theory.
I believe that.
Okay, well then that was opposite of what you're saying.
No. What I'm saying is, I'm saying once it got loose, and also it's like this. It's kind of like fucking anything, right? Science can like, let's say, make a fucking cat and a dog mate, and now you have cat dog. But what comes after cat dog will be maybe 1 part science, 2 parts nature, because it's cat and dog. Get it? So what I'm saying is that this is known facts, in that Chinese laboratory in Wuhan, what they were doing was analyzing and doing stuff based around viruses and diseases, and creating hybrids of said viruses and diseases. But also, if you've seen the thing that they released, I think it was earlier this year, and it was like really interesting because it had a lot about Trump and how he went and talked to the officials about stuff going on. But it explained that these people in China went to this cave where there were bats and got super fucking sick. And then they came back and they were like, let's go back to that cave. Let's collect those fucking bats. Let's collect that feces. Let's bring it back to our lab. Sorry. So it was happenstancel.
I'm sorry. No, I'm not leaving. I'm not. No, I'm not the cop. Huh? I'm smashing my fucking car. I know. I'm sorry. All right, hold on, man. I'm checking it out. I'm just gonna park. Okay, I'm not leaving. I apologize. We'll take care of it. I'm just gonna pull out so you can see what's up. No, I'm pulling out. I'm not leaving. Chill. I'm not taking off. All right?
And Mama Susan, we're going to go viral on this one.
I got in trouble. I hit this guy's car.
Yeah, but it was probably just a slight bump.
What? I got you, man.
Take pictures.
It's all good. Hey, I'm really sorry, man. I didn't mean to do that. Are you all right? I understand. I apologize. Like this. Okay, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead, back up and look at it. I'm going to back up. Bumper cop. Hey, hold on. Let me see your car too. My car's fucked up already. Be careful. Oh, sorry. Careful. Come the other way. What's that? I didn't hit. It's on the side. Yeah, it's straight. You see that bumper? It curves around the side. You caught my end of my bumper. No, I hit the. Oh, you're going to argue with me? You're going to tell me that was there before you hit me? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that was not there. No, I know. I scraped the paint. I fucked it up. Really? I don't have that much money though. What you got? Maybe fucking $100. Huh? That work? All right. Much you got, right? Merry Christmas. Hey man, I'm really sorry about that. Okay. All right. Hey. I didn't give you all my money, but that's all. I got a fucking Christmas and shit. You gotta be careful, bro. I know, man. That's my life. I understand. All right. Take it easy.
You just get a parking spot now?
No, I fucking gave. They were like a. They were gonna like fucking. They were gonna. Yeah, they were hustlers.
Totally.
But I did run in. But I did I did scrape the side of his shit, but they tried to say I fucked up his back bumper. I was like on the side of him as I was pulling out, so I was like, I didn't fuck your bumper up.
Hustlers, man.
But I just want to buy a bunch of money playing poker, so I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Also, my insurance just lapsed. My insurance just lapsed.
Yeah.
I didn't redo my insurance because I was like, when I go to get car repairs, so I can get a loaner car, I'll just re-up my insurance, and then I let it lapse because I never have anything happen. But what's funny is if that was a normal person, like a normal person, they would have asked me for my insurance. So actually, that was better because it's much more expensive. But they're like two hustler drug addicts. But I was like, this is better that you're not like a lawyer or something, because the lawyer would have been like, "What's your insurance?" And I would have been like paying. I'd have been in real bad trouble. So.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
they were.
But I really
grifters.
By the way, if you scrape someone aside their truck, that kind of paint, that amount of money I gave them is not enough to fix it. So they're not going to fix it.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, I don't want.
I don't think you did any damage. I think they're grifters 100.
No, I scraped the side. But if it was like someone's new Jaguar, like a new Jaguar, and I scraped their paint, that costs like $1,500 to replace. But these guys have got all kinds of shit on their car.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it sounded like hustlers to me.
But the one kid was standing there. He was happy to see the money I gave him. He was like, "Okay, we can party now. We can get high."
No doubt. They're gonna go get high for sure. Yeah.
I don't even know how much I gave him. I think I either gave him $100 or $50. I'm not even sure.
It'd be better if they thought you gave them the 100, but you already took off now.
I took off fast. I'm like, I'm out of here before they can write my license.
I was worried in my head they were gonna fucking shoot you, man. I know where you live.
Me too. Boy, I kept that shit on. I thought they're gonna start punching me in the face.
Dude, these days it's so fucking dangerous. Seattle and LA, where I'm at, shit, man. Dude, LA.
That's why I went to a gun shop yesterday. I went to a gun shop yesterday because I was like, shit's happening where I'm like, I don't want to shoot somebody, but I also don't want to be shot. So
yeah.
It was a little scary, but I'm just basically a nice person too. I'm not trying to fuck up somebody's vehicle. It was my fault. So.
Oh, I just realized.
But they did park. Oh, all right. I think I should probably get home before I get in more trouble and shit.
Oh, you can do what you want. I'm just taking my pill on air. I've been taking these pills for like a while now. I'm feeling mostly side effects. You seem like you're calmer and like it's helping you somehow. Man, the doctor said that too. I don't buy it because I'm like tonight, dude. Tonight I felt the same symptoms before I was taking the medicine. The reason I was taking the medicine, I felt them amplified tonight, which scared the hell out of me. That's why.
You can't tell.
I was like that's why I was like I'm gonna go get a fucking burrito and try and cheer myself up with some like grungy food because
you might have just needed to eat
because I left the house, which gave me some cardio to walk around, so I wasn't in my room all day, and like the moon helped a bit. Like I howled at the moon, that kind of made me feel better a little, but like this pill, like I feel more of the side effects, and that's the thing. One of the fucking side effects is increased suicidal tendencies and stuff like that. So I was like, this shit is dangerous, but like I'm gonna keep pushing through. I'm gonna keep doing this shit until I hit the capper. But if people say, like you said, and my doctor said the same thing. He's like, I notice differences, but it's like, you know, when you lose weight, and people notice before you notice, like when you start getting in shape after being like a super heavy set individual, people start noticing sometimes before you notice.
Sure,
It's a similar thing, maybe, I'm thinking, with the mental conditions, but in all reality, I don't, like, everything that I want to improve in my life, nothing has changed. So, like, I need to be focused, I need to be creative, I need to be doing things, right? And I don't have any motivation to do these things. And, like, the things that make me sad and depressed, they're not going anywhere. So all this pill's doing, for the most part, is, like, cutting off. It makes it so you don't, like, it's weird. It's almost like I can feel like it's like if there's a switch, and that's kind of what it feels like. So like, if the pill wasn't in my body, then I would be feeling the feelings, right? Like
ever since that shit's
making me sad, but on top of that, feeling it, right? versus this thing seems to turn off that part of it. So it's like you're still aware, which makes you sad, but you don't feel it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I kind of get it. Yeah. So that's kind of good, is it or not? Is that good or not? I guess it's not good to not feel.
Well,
I don't take any medicine, and I feel a lot.
Okay. It's not like I don't feel like in the sense of like a robot.
Just reduced, like muted or a little bit reduced.
Specifically, like the sadness. So like, and then that's the other thing.
Okay.
So there's agitation and all this other stuff for the side effects, and I've been feeling that kind of. So I'm trying to figure out. Like I got hella cotton mouth, and I haven't even had this much cotton mouth when I was smoking weed. And like I the first couple days I had diarrhea massively, and like that's one of the side effects. I had like appetite suppression per se. But the other day I definitely had some of the taste values change, and then like just there's all sorts of side effects. So I'm just basically pushing through this shit because I know ultimately I can always stop taking them. But I want to really push it through because all the research, like the doctor, he said it should already have started working within the first couple of days. But he said once you hit the 4 to 6 weeks is when it's at its peak, and that's when it's in your system, and it will like, right. So I'm just pushing through to that moment. But,
how far are you now? 1 week or something?
I've been taking it for 2 weeks and a couple days.
Okay.
Maybe a little, like maybe 15 days, I think, or something like that. I gotta like I'm thinking around the second week of January. But for me right now, it's more of like I know I want the Adderall or Vyvanse. I want the drugs for the ADHD type stuff. I want the stuff that's pretty much meth. Like I want that. That's what I need. I need the stuff that's gonna jack up my consciousness to the point where I'm like hyper focused. Like what I want is the effects like similar to if I was smoking meth or doing cocaine or smoking crack. Because
shit.
No, I'm serious.
Serious. Crack is powerful. I've taken it. I've done it before.
Yeah, but
it fucking makes you cry.
In a controlled manner, it's not a bad like these addiction.
So it's not a matter of good or bad. It's a matter of what it does. It's not a matter of it being bad.
And also how it affects your mind. But
there's no really perfect answer
right now. I could go get crack right now. I could go get meth right now. And I know for a fact, especially the meth and the crack, would actually give me the things that I want right now in my life. It won't fix my dating life. It won't fix my loneliness, not having a pet. It won't fix those things. But it will fix my creativity. It will fix that. I know for a fact that if I did that stuff, cocaine though, the last time I that shit did not. So that's why I was like, my thing right now is like I want to do the drugs on a monitored system with a doctor, so that way have because a lot of these kids, they get prescribed these fucking drugs and then they go and sell them and then they take them like recreationally. Like, okay, I need to do it tonight, so I'm gonna pop it now. I want to do this shit where I'm taking it constantly, medicatingly, not fucking around, not selling them, not doing no system other than
prescribed by a doctor. I get it.
Yeah.
Plus, you don't want to be fucking going out buying crack from people, and it becomes another thing you got to buy all the time and shit.
I mean, look, man. If you dilute it and you use it like a controlled substance effectively, like it's when you abuse it and you take too much of it. That's when you have to deal with negative effects. Like the truth is what it's doing to your brain and stuff. So if you get super loaded, super high, then it sparks off to the point of potentially like rupturing the electrodes or whatever, like rupturing things in your brain to like permanent damage type shit. Right?
Right.
But if you take a little bit, like if you literally was just taking a little bit, and then you were dosing it like that, effectively, it would work theoretically. Like that's why you technically have people that can actually be functional meth heads, or functional crackheads, or functional alcoholics, or functional any type of substance.
I don't know. I don't have any judgments on if it's good, but I'll say it's like people don't understand that like what people are doing is like fighting off depression. when they're doing drugs like that a lot of times. Same thing as alcohol. There's people who drink because like it's the only thing that makes them feel good for a while and shit.
Yeah, except alcohol is a depressant, so it actually ultimately makes you worse.
Alcohol makes people so like if you're driving and it's dangerous and you're driving dangerously, you're aware when you're drunk that you're driving dangerously. What it takes away is the fact of you caring whether it's dangerous. So you literally don't care. So the caring, the worry, that's actually a big part of why people are depressed. All this worry about what's going to happen in life, worry about what they're going to look like when they talk to someone. So it's obvious already. Everybody knows you drink because you want to be able to talk to girls and everything. And girls drink because they want to be able to talk to guys. They're probably even worse. They have like more anxiety. So it just reduces that. So later when it fucking wears off or whatever, it might make you feel bloated and sad and even more sad. But while you're doing it and you're in the zone, everybody knows how good. I mean, most people, there's some people it doesn't do shit for. It just makes them sad drunks. They're just sitting there. But there's some people, people who have fun when they drink, which is like most people. There's a reason why. It's fucking, you're able to finally have fun,
I mean, look, I miss drinking like I used to, but I realize, especially the main thing is doing it alone is the most dangerous and destructive thing of all my habits in all my life. Because
I imagine. I can't even imagine it.
Home, it would make me so like, dude, and it's weird. Like what like when I was in Seattle and I drank a bunch and I was like coming home from the mics or whatever, and I had to walk down to get to a bus to get to Tukwila, and those bridge overpasses with no protection. I would like this one time I was so like. I wasn't like blacked out or not. I was just so loaded that I was like in this mindset, super sad and stuff. And I looked over the bridge and I thought, I could jump. This might be the night that either A, I finally fly, or B, I'll ruin somebody's night.
Oh, you on the Aurora Bridge?
No, I wasn't
Aurora
in Aurora.
Bridge?
I was in downtown Seattle. I'm talking about the bridge when you're walking down like Olive Street.
Okay, yeah, that one. Yeah, that'll kill you right onto the freeway.
Or Aurora will be the night that I fly.
Right, Aurora. Yeah, exactly. Yes,
that's what I'm saying. No, that's where my mind
Aurora,
was. Not kidding. Like not insanity.
I believe,
of
course.
Alcohol put me.
Well, I mean,
I was consciously thinking to myself, I could jump right now, and I was feeling so down. But I was also thinking like, this could be the night that I fly, and if I flew, my life would change forever.
Right, it would take away because you're alcohol impaired, it'll take away your part of your fear. So it is actually dangerous because that's one of the main things stopping. If you're already sad, everything else normal, you're not drunk, you could think about jumping off a bridge. A lot of people want it. It's always an option to end your life, despite what people say. It's always completely anybody's choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like every day,
I think it's stigmatized.
Some comedians,
like suicide's okay.
Some comedians
stigmatize it.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's okay. It just is a fact. You know what I mean? It's like the idea.
But it's more like this. You don't know this person's life. Maybe it really is super shitty and not going to change. And then you convince them to stay alive. But then you disappear. It's like then their life is still shitty.
Understandable, but also people's emotions are confusing because you also want people to care about you and not want you to die. So it's pretty much there's no win. Like you kind of want to tell people not to kill themselves, but it just doesn't mean a lot. It doesn't just to a person who's thinking about that, it doesn't mean a whole lot. Especially now when you're facing like organ failures or all kinds of things. You know what I mean? Like my girlfriend is like, we're not going to be able to save each other. Our bodies are doomed. You're doomed. You know what I mean? There's no savior. There's no, you know what I mean? So you either kind of keep on going or you don't, I guess. But the Aurora Bridge is famous. The Aurora Bridge is famous because so many people have jumped off that fucking thing.
Well, they
so every time I go
up on that, didn't they?
Yeah, but you know what? There's people who bring ladders, and then they kill themselves, and then there's fucking ladders sitting there. There's some people told me that they're because it's now. Yeah, free ladder. I'm not kidding. People go by and they're like, "Oh, look, a ladder!" And literally, and also there's people who there's part of Aurora Bridge where if you jump off, you don't land in the water. You land down by people's houses. So they find people down by the boat because they missed the water and they just land splat on the fucking.
The worst thing that could happen is you survive, because then they take you to the hospital, and then I don't know if this is the case, but I'm pretty sure as you're healing up in the hospital all fucked up, that there's like an actual crime about suicide or some nonsense.
Oh yeah, they want to keep as part of society. They want anything to not lose a taxpayer. It feels like
Right.
it feels like slavery. Like, I'm sorry, it's not working out for you, but we need the revenue for the drugs we're gonna sell you or whatever.
Well, actually,
they're like-
if you're not familiar, yeah, the USA is a corporation. That's why it's U period S period A. We are actually an established corporation. America's power, and like that's why you get the Social Security numbers. That's why it's devised the way it is. We are all actually broken down as employees of the United States.
You know what's funny though? I was actually thinking recently that I will pretty soon, and according to certain logic, kind of be forced to kill myself, because you can't. How could you really be 80? Like, how could you go through being 80? You know, like, or even 67. So I'm like, 67. That's just around the corner. So you're like, even by 58, I could start having. You know what I mean? So I'll probably have a heart, organ failure or something. But then again, you also don't want to end up like with a guy who has a stroke, and half your face doesn't move, and you know what I mean? You're just a miserable. So being able to still go places and people think you're like at least like a 5,
Dude,
you know?
That's one
Like,
of the
you know what
reasons
I
I'm
mean?
taking these pills is because I was getting so severely depressed and so severely lonely that I was literally having dementia. I woke up one night and I actually legitimately was so afraid. I couldn't remember who I was, what I was. I couldn't even remember where I was. And I was literally just waking up from sleep in my own room. That's a true fucking thing that happens. Like, and it's a thing like that they talk about with nursing homes and stuff. When people abandon their families into a nursing home and they get minimal social interactions or whatever, that it actually it literally onsets dementia symptoms. It literally causes. Like, I mean, this is a known fact. You know what I'm talking about. The whole thing is solitude in general. Like, humans are supposed to have. It's another reason why, once again, the government is social mandating a lot of these distancing things. Like, the more they take away these things, the more, theoretically at least, the more susceptible we are to commands. So, like, social interaction is actually critical for us, for survival as a species.
Of course.
And
Of course.
so what I've been suffering from a lot of is withdrawal from a lot of that. Like, it's crazy. Like, I went to an anti-mandate well, it wasn't an anti-mandate gathering. I got there too late, but there were some people still there, and I talked with them for a while. And it's always interesting to hear people talking, but, like, once again, a lot of the people on both sides are misinformed. So, like, they were saying all this stuff, and I'm like, all right, we'll see, you know? But the point I'm getting at is that the guy and the lady, we hugged, and I actually got a good feeling inside. I was like, this is one of the things that I'm missing, is like an actual authentic hug, an authentic amount of, like, both people. You're not hugging someone to get something from the other person. You're sharing, compassion. And these are things that are lacking. And, like, I think because of how, like, I don't like the word good anymore because people ruined it by that still good guy campaign. But, like, the kindness in my heart, the love, and the type of person I truly am, that young kid is still there. That was sent to the mental asylums. That young kid that would lay in bed at night and look at the ceiling and say that there's got to be a reason. There's a reason that dogs love me, animals come up to me, children appreciate me, is because naturally I actually have good kindness and, like, truth.
Yeah, of course, it's obvious.
But because I'm not able to I'm not able to give that or gift it to anyone right now, it's killing me. It's literally killing me inside.
You just gotta get out there.
Heartbreak and on there's research and stuff. It actually affects the heart. Like, I feel pain tonight when I was saying that my symptoms were increased, not decreased, and it scared me, is because I was almost crying, and that's very irregular for me.
Irregular?
irregular for me to cry. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm one of those men. Like I'm a generation of my kind. I'm very, very, what do you call it when you compress it all deep down inside?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got you.
I don't
Yeah, I get.
bust out in emotional tears very often, and if I do cry, I typically make sure that no one's around.
It's good for you though. It does something physically to your body to trigger that response. And I mean,
Vulnerability, yeah.
yeah. I mean, no. I mean, the actual physical act of crying is good. It like touches in part of your brain where you know you can still feel sad about some shit, or you can see something in a. You ever see the movie Magnolia?
Oh, no. Okay, that's an exception. I still actually do tear up at like certain films and stuff. For sure. I actually I'm not completely
That's
null
good.
and void. Like, you know what's
No,
interesting?
no
too?
one.
I watched
No one is. But
movie,
no one
a
is.
Christmas movie the
Oh,
other night,
okay.
and it struck me
Oh,
in
okay.
emotional ways. But
Well, good.
it was
I mean,
it was
but
one where
it,
the star was gay. So I was like,
oh,
oh,
okay.
cool. It's nice to know that I'm not homophobic by any means. Like, I can appreciate a film where the stars are not straight.
I never would have thought you would be like that.
Well, deep down inside, I'm always thinking like that.
I had a guy one time on Broadway years ago when I lived on Broadway. I was walking at night and there was this guy, like he was like a little older gay guy with like the leather on and shit.
Was it chaps or just like leather outfit?
He just had like a tight little leather outfit and it made it real obvious that he was coming from like a gay club or bar or something. But he was like maybe 50. And then I can't remember what we were talking about. But he was kind of drunk and I think he asked me for a cigarette. And then he started crying. And he was like, I'm gay. And then I was like, that's okay. I don't care if you're gay. And then I actually hugged the guy.
Yeah,
And I was like, I'm not fucking into it or anything. You know, I mean, I have our limits, but I was like, but I'm not, but it's all right. It doesn't mean I don't want to hug you or nothing. But he was like so worked up over it. And I remember it was very touching that I was like, here, I'm just hugging this stranger. And he's all worried. I don't know why he was worried that, you know, it was no, maybe he was being a pervert because I was young. I was like 25. I was like very attractive when I was young. Like I was very physically attractive, so I would get, you know what I mean, more hit on by.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, man.
I was one of the fuckable people.
Homosexuals are predatorial, and that's one thing I'm starting to notice about how I feel about men, and it's like some of it is divisive based on my interactions with homosexuals, especially since I'm in LA.
I try to be understanding, and I'm always one of the people because I always learned that you always accept people. I didn't grow up in any homophobic family, but I've become more homophobic as I've got along as a protective mechanism to protect my identity. Because what people do is they're trying to go, everyone's kind of gay, you know what I mean? And so if you hear me say faggot and all this, it's like, people are like, they'll never know. They're like, I was the opposite. I was like, oh, you should try to be even gay if someone wants you to be gay. Like, you should be open-minded. And I was like, no, there's limits to open-mindedness. There's certain things you can't do, but you can still go, I like that you're gay. You know what I mean?
Well,
I just don't want it. I didn't want anything to do with it. That's what I say every time. I go, I don't want anything to do. I find it disgusting. I get the heebie-jeebies from it. You know what I mean? And people actually don't comprehend it. They actually think, no, you're just everyone's resisting. That's what they think. It's a funny thing because when a woman, really great example, anytime a woman's not attracted to a guy, they can find any reason whatsoever to find them creepy. Right. They could be a hottest guy. They're like, something about him creeps me out. And we never go, you should like him. You should still like him. Why don't you like him? And I go, well, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. We have the right to say a lady creeps us out, a gay guys creep us out. Everybody's got their own personal. It's personal.
Yeah.
Personal. Nobody has no input. So that's why I say you don't have an input into what people like. Everybody gets to pick, and that's that. They don't even have to have a reason. I don't like
drugs.
I don't like the guy's shirt. I don't like women will reject a guy because they don't like his shoes. Like, yeah, I don't like his shoes. Facts. You know what I mean? So I go, there you go. Just no. But be
deep
gay.
Down inside, you got to be like, all right, well, that's a judgmental bitch, and unless I want to be with a judgmental bitch, then I better get better shoes.
Sure, yeah, exactly. That's the rule with women. You have to be what they like. That's it. That's that. Unless
Yeah,
you
but
fucking,
then those dumb bitches don't know what they like.
they don't know what they like exactly.
Most
So
of
there's
them.
no need to take it too seriously. They'll probably change their mind.
It's kind of
You know what I mean?
yeah.
That would be a great advice. That would be a great advice for men if they get rejected. I would go, next time you see the girl, just pretend like you didn't get rejected.
Oh
I
yeah.
actually tried it before. I would go, and then they'll go, oh, he wasn't even bothered by my rejection, because it's like a test for them. They're like
Oh,
testing
totally.
to
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Yeah. They're always
No,
testing.
same thing with like if they say they have a boyfriend, even if they don't, I don't care. I just react the same way every time. It's like, all right, that's cool.
Right. Because at the very base of our soul, we don't really give a fuck about your boyfriend. We
No,
don't care if you have a
truthfully, no.
boyfriend.
And in fact, what I'm learning too, it's like I used to have this side of me that I'm slowly getting rid of, which I'm grateful for, I think, in a lot of ways. Because I used to have this camaraderie about like we're all brothers together and we got to take care of each other. And I used to be like on the side of masculine, you know. And then
Oh yeah.
I didn't think about what I was and like the reality is, most of these dudes, especially, and it's like they're so much like. So basically, they're not like I am, pure of intention. So in the reaction now, it's like with this girl's got a boyfriend, but then you're like, okay, that's cool. But then you still keep hitting on them, but subtly, and still keep flirting and still keep being basically better than their boyfriend, knowing that the way that they are is, in theory, which it seems to be based on more and more that I'm seeing, observing, witnessing, etc., that they really are until they're married at least, or in a long enough relationship or whatever, or circumstantial, but for the most part, looking for the upgrade. Right? So
Right, or at least, or at the very least, they still like attention from guys. It's not like they stop being like a person. So either way, it's like it's just nature, man. It's just nature. It's just nature to try. It's natural to always be trying. That's just what it is. We're
I
always.
mean, I enjoy flirting.
Yeah, that's cool.
I enjoy that stuff, but my thing lately is it's more like I'm trying to work around this concept of like I got to go out the other night to this comedy thing, and then the comedy thing didn't happen, but we went over to their place, you know, like the guys that run the venue, you know, and this girl, her name's China, crazy name, right? So she's at the event too. We're all hanging out, drinking, and whatever, just you know, just everyone's doing just stuff, just hanging out, you know. But some things I observe, like I observe her looking down at my crotch. I don't say nothing, but it's like, and then another time I'm out front of the event that I was doing, the comedy show that I put on, and this one girl I brought into it, and she's touching me, like affectionate and stuff, but you kind of gauge the energy too, because it's like playful, but then there's also the like actual, so you start factoring in these little things, because deep down inside, at least how I was, and I still kind of am, but it's like I always think I'm better than every guy. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm the fucking best, you know? So, by default, I would always think that these girls were hitting on me and all this stuff. But then now, I'm learning to gauge, okay, sometimes it's actually the social flirtation rapport to, like, build that camaraderie for the sense of, like, the girls are at the comedy event and venue for the same reason, typically, that the guys are. And they're doing the same thing, typically, that the guys are. So, oftentimes, it's not so much that they like you and that they're actually truly hitting on you. It's more like that social atmosphere that I wasn't born with understanding, so I'm starting to figure out. Like, so sometimes a touch is just a touch, but it's also like to build the natural rapport. But other times it's like a prolonged touch, right? Or like where they touch you. You know what I'm saying?
They don't necessarily hit on you like men do, though, so they don't always know what their intention is.
I wonder that
It's
too
kinda like-
oftentimes. Yeah, like if they
it's
know
not- it's
in
not
their
cut and
head
dry.
what they're doing, or if it's
It's not-
naturally happening.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's like a mood thing for them. They don't know. It's not a conscious thing. It's not a conscious thing. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. Well, I mean that happens a lot too with me. At least sometimes it's like I've noticed I get these girls drawn toward me that are in currently in difficult circumstances in their current relationship.
Oh, sure. Of course, they're craving like some kind of, some fucking kind of attention they're not getting. Like a guy becomes bored with them, and then they're like, they're still together, but then they're like, that fucking thing you need, like the thing you're talking about, you need, whatever it is, fucking hugging
feel
people or whatever. Women are like that too. They're like, I'm in a committed relationship, and then all of a sudden it could be like shit, and it doesn't even have to be abuse or nothing. It could just be like the edge is off. There's no like. So a new person is like, that's why people go to new people, because it's always exciting when it's new. You know what I mean? Think about it. I mean, unless it's like some kind of shit experience where the woman just picks the totally wrong guy, but it's usually pretty good.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
I think
don't do anything that makes you frustrated. I heard that from some guys who know women a lot. So like, if you're with a woman and you're the one who wants to fuck really bad, and then you're like trying to resist because you don't want to be rude, because you think she just wants to, and you're like, it's not like anything against her to like say like, just try it, just and then, but it's like, I don't know, it's difficult. It's like sometimes they'll just go for it.
No, I think that makes perfect sense, because if you're in the mindset of frustration, that's a mindset that like any girl wouldn't want to be around. That's like the thing with me. What Emily was trying to like ride on me about. I'm like, every time Emily and I hang out in person, she always has an amazing time. Sometimes to the extent where she stays longer than she needs to, or she doesn't even want it to end type of circumstances. But then when we're communicating online and stuff and I'm telling her my issues and just being a friend, if you will, and telling her these things, and she's like completely turned off, and she's like, oh man, you're so depressing and so like negative and and it's like, no girl wants to be around that. And it's like, yeah, okay, but that's the thing. When I'm in person or when I'm with somebody, I'm not ever showing these things, right? Like if I'm down and out, I'm not gonna be down and out unless I really am down and out, and then I'm just gonna be down and out. But most times, women just want to be around a guy when he's fun and friendly and hilarious and charming and
that's their nature, though. That's
on stage performing.
That's just their nature. That's what's up.
Well, I mean, it makes perfect sense.
There's no like real fucking, they love you who you really are no matter what. It just doesn't exist like that, unfortunately.
Not until you get like, and even then I worry about our next generations and just our current generations, because it's not the way it was. Like 1920s America, there was more inclination to be able to build like what my grandma and grandpa had.
Yeah, totally. That's true.
Like years and years and years of marriage, like to the point where when they're old and elderly and they've had a son and have grandchildren now and they're retired and they're still living, but now they do this thing where like they love each other, they tolerate each other, but at the same time it's like there's snarky quips back and forth, but it's like they're together because it's just like it works, and it's worked and it still works,
Totally.
Nowadays, we're in such a generation of like instant gratification that we don't even seem to factor in. And I say we like the Queens, not you and I necessarily, but factoring in the concept of I
love instant gratification. Of course.
Don't get me wrong. I do appreciate it. Therefore, that's what I'm talking about when it comes to the drugs. But I mean,
we all
at the
are.
Same time, I really like the idea of courting a girl and like spending time, like I go to an event. Like there's this girl I'm really into right now. She's a comic out here and she's totally my type, 100%.
Nice.
Bleach blonde, Jewish girl.
What happened to the China girl? What happened? She sounded like she wants some.
Oh, the one I was talking about. I haven't seen her since that night. I like in my
head. Get that phone number. I don't know.
Well, that's what in my head. I was thinking like, you probably should have engaged her more. But I'm in a weird state right now where I'm still kind of figuring a lot of other stuff out. So like, at this point right now, it's like I think it's because I've had plenty of sex in my life, so it's no longer like what it was for me. Like I used to be really, really good with girls in the sense of because I was mostly chasing gratification sexually. But now that I'm in a point where I'm actually attempting to kind of, I don't just need sex. What I need more than anything, I feel at least in my head, is a balance that only comes from a relationship.
Oh,
Like,
all right, whatever.
what I'm looking for is something I think I don't even know if it's real, you know? Like
Yeah.
every guy that I look up to for the most part, when you look at their story, they're either with a girlfriend or they're married. That's the one thing that I don't have in my life. Like Lord
Yeah, I don't
Michaels,
know,
when he
man.
was
I can't.
30, was tagging these
I can't.
hot-ass girls.
I can't
Dan
criticize. I
Aykroyd and
can't
them
criticize, but
we're with the same girl.
there's nobody
They were
though. They
passing
don't
the
have
same
none of.
girl
Yeah,
back and forth. You know what I'm saying? These
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
were dating these girls like in that community in the 70s, in the 80s, right? These guys,
Yeah.
they say this all the time too. Like the more successful a man is when he's married or like that is because he's no longer having to think about those things anymore.
I guess.
So there's
Yeah.
like I can't speak to you because you're in its type of relationship that's individual and unique to its own situation. But what I'm talking about is a different type of relationship, I feel. But I don't know much about yours. I'm just saying, like, what I'm talking about is like a person like Erin Darling. Like, I'm trying to figure out because I like her
Trying to be in a
lot, but
relationship.
yeah, and like her situation is she was with a guy, and they really liked each other, but there was some type of thing, and they broke up. But
You remember Kim from Jai Tai?
who?
The
guy?
waitress?
Kim?
Kim.
Oh,
No,
the redhead?
no guy.
The redheaded girl, right?
Yeah, the redhead who's skinny.
Yeah, she liked me a lot,
I think
actually. I think
the
she
one
gave
who's
me
real
her number,
friendly
if I
and-
remember. I forget.
No, Kim, the waitress at Jai Tai.
Yeah, green eyes, red hair. I know who you're talking about. She's I found out later on that she was dating or engaged or married to somebody that worked there or something.
She was married to Bill. He's like a art teacher. He's real cool. Me and him are good friends. But now they're breaking up, I guess. And she's been having problems with fucking anxiety and not being able to sleep and like keeping him up, like mental problems where she finally moved out, but he didn't leave her totally. What he did was he moved like 4 blocks away. And now she hits me up all the time. And now it's like someone in her mental state. It's almost like I miss the attention. And then I'm like, I always kind of liked her. And then we do talk. We do have fun. She said, but I'm like, I'm not going to fuck or get into the person whose husband moved 4 blocks away because that's not a real breakup. You know what I mean?
Not yet. No.
There's another thing, there's a technical thing where people are technically broke up, but they're not broke up. Whenever someone's mentioning them, it's still a thing. It's like, it's a don't stay away zone, but it is kind of like, it is sort of like interesting at least. Like you think about it, it's basically like inside your mind, you're like animal man. Your animal part is like, fuck everything. It gives a shit about anything. Go for the new thing. Just go get in there and experience life. You know, life new, fresh, exciting. Can't grow up. Because there's guys who are with someone like me this long. They don't think about stuff like that. I don't think they're like, or else they just cheat. There's guys who are like they have their long lady and they're lawyers or they got a great life. They travel, they cheat all the time. They just have a secret life and shit. You know what I mean?
Or sometimes they have those relationships where they know, but they just don't discuss it. Like
what I do is I like to change the power. I like to change the power balance when I'm talking to a girl so that I'm not trying and then it seems like they're chasing me more. And then that way I don't feel that much sympathy because when you're growing up, women are always rejecting men. So the idea of like a woman likes you because you already got a girl and then you're like somebody who could take care of them or make them feel good or something. And then they'll try to like have sex with you. And then I'm like, oh, this is nice. It's the one good thing about being old. Because when I was 21, they'd be like, look at you, you're 21, you don't know shit, you don't have shit. You know, they're trying to get what's like an older guy. And now the older guy's like not trying to fuck them. And they have to like, then they have to try to draw something out of you. They're trying to they crave the fucking, they crave to try to get you to fucking fight another guy for them. Women are animals, man. They try to, you know what I mean? They want to see you show your teeth. They want to see you try some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
gives them like a thrill.
Emily's kind of like that. I feel like in a lot of ways, like, I mean,
yeah.
Her boyfriend,
think about it. It might be quote unquote evil,
jealous, right? And he's not a jealous type.
Right.
He doesn't show he's very introverted with his emotions, especially type of thing. But he's a very compassionate type of individual. But she was like wanting him So she would be trying to use
Yeah, of
people,
course.
including me, to make him feel these feelings. And like the times that she liked me the most was when she's like, "Oh, I don't know why, but he's really mad at you right now," and like shit like that. And she would.
She
you know,
loves
and it's-
drama. She loves
she-
drama even more than
she
most
fucking-
women.
She's a drama addict to drama.
I know. They got that. They have those people. One time I was like on. I was on Instagram thing, and I was only on it for a short time, and then I was in one of those chats, one of those ones you guys were in,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
group chats, yeah.
somebody said something. It was just like on Instagram. It wasn't even on the chat. It was like the regular comments, and then someone said some stuff, and then I was like all upset about something like I get, and then I was like and then all these people started commenting, and then right away she was like, okay, you got to get in the thing. She didn't care about the passion of what I wanted. She just liked the fact that people were like, oh, someone who cares about something. Like that'll stir up energy. And then I felt like, oh, I'm good now. I'm in. And then I got in the group chat and it's just too much. And then after like a few days, I get tired and I just can't keep up. I'm like, I don't want to keep watching this shit. You know, I get like where I want to talk about something, but then I want to go off. I can't keep the fucking thing. I'm an only child, so I didn't grow up with constant drama in the house like I used to it. I went I'll go play outside by myself, you know, like that.
Yeah.
So I'm just only childs are not as suited for that, I don't think. But I remember okay, that's what she likes. She likes it when you create anything that creates the comments. Just like
Yeah, no. I mean, like with that stuff, what happens is, I mean, my thing is this: it's I like when it's productive, right? And I like when it's real and honest. I don't like when it's manufactured, and a majority of that shit.
You ever seen that?
It's like.
You ever seen the movie Eyes Wide Shut? Yeah, I know what you mean.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's one of the more famous movies by what's his name, because it's like that movie's supposed to be an insider,
Kubrick.
a little bit of an insider tip into what goes on in the elite Hollywood.
Yeah, but what was funny about it, I thought always was that it was the same kind of element describing Emily's relationship to that guy. It's a similar one. It's like I have the same thing. What it is like you've been so long with someone that you're like, I have them now. They're mine. They're not leaving, and now we're happy. But really, that's not actually something that generally always makes women happy. Women are like, it's like Patrice O'Neill describes, if you're a guy who can't go hit on other girls, the woman will lose interest in you. The same thing as if your girl gets all fat and no guys want her, then you don't want her as much. So in Eyes Wide Shut, it was Tom Cruise, who's like the handsomest guy ever, a doctor, and he's got the most beautiful wife. And he says, well, thank God we don't have to worry about that. And she's all high, and she explains, she just tries to set him straight. She said, one time we were at a party, and I just saw a guy across the room. I didn't even talk to him. I saw him. I was willing to leave you, the whole everything. And I thought only of like sex with that guy. I would have left, and it fucked his whole world up. Like that's why that movie was interesting, because it was like if Emily told her boyfriend that,
Sean,
you know what I mean? Then maybe he might show something. You know what I mean? But what happens is like everybody.
Literally, when I came to LA, spent time with her. Then, within like a matter of 2 days, they had sex for the first time in, I want to say almost a full year.
Oh, you had sex with her?
No, her and her boyfriend finally had sex.
Oh, really?
Like,
they didn't.
She's notorious. She says she doesn't like to have sex. She claims she's not sexual. She says stuff like my parents never showed that type of stuff, so that's how I am or whatever. But like, I know how Emily really is. I know for a fact she is the type of girl. She wants to be dominant. She wants to be truly dominant. Like she jokes about it, but she says, "I want to be raped." Like that's the thing that Sean will never give her. He's like, that's why, like, if I get him fiery at all, that she would be happy and excited because it's beneficial, because he shows some type of passion, basically. What they have, and they both accepted it. I told her this straight to their, like I said it. They have what I called a neutral love. Both of them claim, they both say, neither of us is willing to cheat on the other, but both of us wishes the other would.
It's weird what people can get involved in. Another
as
thing
far
is,
as
there's
I'm
other
concerned,
parts.
I know why Emily's with him, because she doesn't have to pay fucking rent, even though she says she pays some of it. And they live in a fucking townhouse, like fucking in the middle of downtown LA, in a really nice
Right.
fucking, like, pretty damn nice fucking spot. It was his spot. Then during COVID, she had to leave her spot, and she moved in with him. So they've been
But on
living
his
together.
end,
And I warned her about
but
that. I'm
on
like, that's
but on
close to
his end,
marriage.
but on sure, but on his end, he gets to have like a super hot, cool chick. You know what I mean? So he's
on
like,
his end, what he gets is that he's in love with her, and he's been in love with her, but he also is smart. So he bought her a computer, he bought her equipment, he convinced her that he's capable of using the equipment. So he's a partner in her podcast. He's basically rooted himself in her life. So it's one of those things. But ultimately,
they're connected together.
I told them
Sounds like
that what she needed was a fucking polyamorous relationship. She needed both of us to be her boyfriend, because I would give her the things that he can't. Period. Like, for real. Like, I would be the guy that likes to go out on the town with her and likes to stir up shit with her, and she loves that shit, and that's something Sean will never be able to give her. And like, I'm the type of guy that will fucking punch a motherfucker for looking at the girl.
I thought his name was Zorro or some shit.
No, okay. When they met, he was a DJ, and his name was DJ
Yeah.
Stencil. And Emily's the type of
Stencil,
bitch that likes
yeah.
to call people by their acronyms or nicknames and blah blah blah. That's why she
Oh, I only-
refuses to call
I-
him anything other than Future. And
Oh,
his name
I only
isn't
knew him.
Stencil, his name is Sean. And like,
Well, I only
this-
knew him as Stencil. So
yeah, but that's the thing. Okay, first and foremost, motherfucker said that his DJ equipment got stolen. He's never replaced it. He's no fucking DJ as far as I'm concerned. But then, more importantly, I'm the only person that calls him
Alright.
Sean. She doesn't even call him Sean mostly. And he was starting to get upset because it was making him uncomfortable hearing his own fucking name. That's how programmed he is to hearing him be called Stencil.
oh, all
Like,
right.
he literally told me, he's like, it makes me uncomfortable that you call me Sean, because he's so used to what she calls him and what other people call him.
Well, as you know, though, it's pretty much obvious, though, that a lot of people are not comfortable with a polyamorous relationship. You know why? Because
mean,
it's like
look.
another person's grotesque body crawling on top of their person that they're with, and then some people can't deal with that, or no,
Dude,
it's a
I'm
strong.
not trying to have
It
sex
doesn't
with
matter.
Emily. That's the thing. I would have sex with her, yes, but I'm not trying to. I don't want to. I want her for other reasons. I want her for all the stuff.
You guys
that I
are
want
weird.
in
You
my
guys are
life
weird,
right now.
man.
No, what I
You
told
guys are
dude, I
strange.
already had. Dude, I've had so much fucking sex. It's
I know. I just can't relate to it.
I make other comics uncomfortable when I start talking about how much sex I've had. But the thing is,
I don't care about that.
well, no, but here's my point. What I want is
I
something
know.
different. I'm looking for energy. I'm trying to get energy in my life. I'm trying to get the one thing in my life that motivates me more than anything.
Well, you just said what she needs.
Somebody named Gary Penny just made a comment. We got our first official comment. I didn't even have to make it up. I don't know what the
what's
fuck
up?
it is. It says VASF.tech. And the person's name
Oh.
is Gary Penny.
Something's weird.
Yeah. Look. Oh, Casey dipped out. I don't know what that is, but thanks for commenting, Gary Penny, whoever you are. Anyway, we've been talking for a filthy second. Casey said something was wrong. It's probably just his cell phone dying. I'm probably gonna eat my food. I guess I'll say all the stuff since YouTube decided that they're not gonna what do you call it? Let me have that other one. I'll keep fighting to get it out there because we literally didn't say anything. Like, we weren't telling people this is medical information. The only thing I did was quote Joe Biden and say that it was blatant medical misinformation. That's probably Casey. Yeah, it was Casey. He was just saying his phone dipped. All good. But anyway, I mean, all I'm getting at is, like, Mama Susan, I have nothing against you, lady friend. I respect the hustle. Matter of fact, if anything, I'm available and in Los Angeles. The only thing I am not is gay. I mean, I can't lie about being gay. It's just who I am. I mean, I'm definitely queer in a lot of ways, but the main way that I'm queer is just peculiar and strange and odd and weird. And that's mostly just because I break against the mold. But at the same time, like, I am fun, I am entertaining, I am awesome, I am truly charismatic. So like, YouTube, Mama Susan, if you really want to bring me on board, I am all on board. I am gonna be the best sales rep you could ever possibly have. I have no issue. I mean, shit, I will hustle the agenda. I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't mind the agenda at all. I've never been against the agenda by any means. I am all on board, provided it gets me anywhere near Lorne Michaels and Saturday Night Live. Because in my heart of hearts, I know that when I get to Saturday Night Live, I will finally feel at home and I will be at work and in love, and no doubts about that. So I guess, okay, so we mentioned that I was on these pills, so that's one thing I was going to talk about. So I'm going to be basically futures audience, thank you for viewing this. Make sure and click the this is obligatory. Make sure you click the subscribe and the bell button so that way you get notified when we go live. That's one thing. You can go to the website, which is www.thefutureplayersociety.com. You can find me on Instagram at fps.comedy, also at future_player_JDK. But most importantly, just the things that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to go back to my roots of my initial when I started this YouTube. So I'm going to start doing reviews of Saturday Night Live. I'm going to start doing reviews of Saturday Night Live, and not really reviews, but breakdowns, and basically showing my immense amount of love and passion for the art of improv. And I'm not going to be critical of players per se, but I am going to be informative of things that I feel like would punch it up, or things that I would have written, things that I would have proposed. I'm also going to be doing stand-up more, but not really. It's difficult. It's a very toxic scene, ultimately. But I'm definitely going to be working toward it. And when I say working toward it, what I mainly mean is, like, I really do want to write my jokes efficiently to the point where I really do have a fleshed out material and routine and stuff that I can really truly begin performing over and over and over, but a little bit different each time, that I know for a fact is consistent, so I can learn where my punches are, even in my own personal stories and everything. But also, like what I was saying with Casey earlier, and what I've been saying is, here's the thing: I really know what's lacking in my life, and like I don't have a pet because I'm responsible. It's kind of my joke, but it's just truth too. Like, I'm too responsible to have a dog in my life right now. I really am. But I would love to have that, and I know that that would give me some goodness, in the sense of, like, I really am very, very good with dogs, but also I'm very good at training dogs, and like the dogs that I have are able to do tricks and stuff, and like part of me really does want and miss that. But I also don't live in an environment right now with like a yard and stuff like that. So part of me would rather wait till I could bring my love with me. And, I own a condo up in Tukwila, and it's empty right now. We're probably going to rent it out maybe in the new year because I'm staying in LA. But my main goal was to come to LA for comedy or love, whichever came first. I mean, it's not that I wanted to stop pursuing comedy, but I knew for a fact that if I found a girl that truly loved me, and like, love to an extent, but also just the relationship, the values, the productivity, the charisma, like just wanting to develop and grow together and become stronger together. And I mean, the truth is, like, I've had a shit ton of sex. Just most of it is with different women. And I'm looking to have something where it's like I can start experiencing, or attempting to at least try and see about sex magic. And like, I really don't know too much about it because I've never had the privilege of having a consistent partner. Like, from my experience, depending on the experience level of the girl, it's really difficult. Like, sometimes some girls are so, like, it's not that they're bad at sex, it's that they're inexperienced. And like, some guys really, like, they get off, they love that shit. Like, they love training a girl up. But like, in all reality, a lot of those guys are not the best at sex. They're very selfish lovers, and oftentimes they don't train a girl right anyway, And that's just what it is. Like sometimes also I've had girls do some weird shit in bed and I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? And then it turns out it's like, oh, that's what the guy they were with before taught them or told them that they liked. So they would just presume that that's something that I would like. But sex magic is so much different because it's like a true intimacy value. It's literally a thing where you breathe and you like the reason that I know I'm a good lover with girls is because there are things that I consciously do when I'm with them, like matching breathing patterns and paying attention to things but I got off track. I guess my main thing is that what I'm looking for, what I truly need in my life is a female partner that because I just I I when I was younger, it was easier for me to be like the reason that you do this art, the reason you do these things is that is what attracts a girl to you. But now where I'm at in life, it's more like because I don't have that, I'm suffering. If I if I have a goal in my life that it's just the amount seeing in her what she sees in me and knowing that it's also a return favor so that whatever industry she's a part of, I also value that so much about her. Whether she's a writer or a reader or a author or an actress or a model or anything really. I mean, I don't know that I would. I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not necessarily looking for a doctor or a surgeon or like somebody that's going to be so busy at a job and then come home to me and it's going to be one of those things where it's a lot of like just what it is. I'm looking more for someone that's in a similar industry because then it's like we are mutually benefiting each other. But I mean, I guess like I don't know, like a teacher would be a good relationship for me because she's got the kids and stuff, the children or whatever, or maybe she's a professor laureate and so she's got the students of the academia or whatever, but then she comes back to me and then it's more engaging because she's got intelligences and stuff and I can engage that type of discussion. But it's really I don't know, like when it comes to things like a surgeon or a police officer, maybe even a firefighter, those type of relationships, I'm not sure how much I would be able to benefit them, right? So anyway, that's kind of like a big part of what I'm dealing with, right? Is um seeking that. And so I'm taking these like I don't know, what do you call them? They're non-SSI, I guess SSRI type thing. It's basically Wellbutrin, but it's the bupropion, which is like the other type of it. It's like the I keep wanting to say knockoff, but it's not a knockoff. It's actually like a generic brand of the Wellbutrin. And I don't know, like Casey's the second person next to the doctor to say they've noticed improvements in me, but I truly don't. I'm not sure. But I know for a fact that if I had a girl in my life right now, I would want to write. I would want to draw. I would want to edit my stuff and put it out there because I know that that is why she wants to be with me, why she appreciates what I'm needing is a value system, an engagement that I can only have from a female partner. And then that's mostly because like the truth is and the reality is um like I've had very very close male friends that were partners, but it always clicks at some point. It becomes almost too intimate for me to handle. Like with me, if I don't have a female partner, I'm messed up in the head, and that's the thing. Like I've been having sex dreams lately and wet dreams, and like it's like I've always had an incredibly high libido, and like I'm privileged. I have amazing genetics in that way. I'm privileged. Like I have just I'm not sure. I'm just not like every guy in that sense. I guess like the reality is I really do love sex. I love the female body. I really do. And I don't know. I just there's things that are lacking in my life that I know. And but that's the thing. I've known this for years. but I don't know how to tolerate or deal with it, you know? And at this point, um, I'm gonna start doing those reviews on the weekly because I feel like the inconsistency might be one of the reasons that I've not made it to the light or the eye of Saturday Night Live. And I do feel like one of the only things that I'm very, very capable and very, very good at is improv, and also writing improv sketches and that type of format. So I do truly actually believe that my reviews were one of the only things that was really building me toward successes that I can literally, starting as soon as tomorrow when I wake up. The only other thing I have to do is I need to contact general practitioners because in order to get the Adderall or Vyvanse, what I really, really, truly want, like I know, like I was saying with Casey earlier, is I need amphetamines in my body. Period. I do. I know for a fact that, especially without a female in my life, the amphetamines are the only thing that are gonna basically salvage my mind because they create something where my chemistry just is able and capable of functioning, like legitimately performing and writing and drawing and everything. And I don't know how to explain it other than maybe it's just what I am and how I am. But either way, I mean, I'm gonna keep taking this Wellbutrin for now, or bupropion, same difference, and I'm gonna work through this. But I've already known that as soon as I have a goal in my life, I can talk to the doctor and start getting off of the Wellbutrin and stuff, because I know for a fact that the only reason I need it right now, or I don't even know that I need it, but the only reason that I'm attempting by using it is because I'm lacking that one, literally the one thing in my life I'm lacking. And that's the truth. Like I quite literally, like I'm not wanting to brag or nothing, but if I broke down everything about my life and about who I am, there's really not anything to be complaining about. Like even the vaccination stuff truly is not, like, until I'm dealing with extreme amounts of prejudice, I'm not having any issue even performing stand up outside at venues or performing stand up indoors at certain venues. I'm not going to say because, you know, especially with LA laws, it's very speakeasy, the venues I'm talking about. But ultimately, even with my vaccination report card or whatever, I'm sure I could get into other venues and stuff. But it's more principle right now for me. The reason, like, I don't discuss whether I have or have not had the COVID vaccine, because on principle, I believe personally that whether I have or have not had the vaccine and or booster, I can say with the fact I have not had a booster and I will not have a booster. There is no way you'll ever get me to have a booster because I have not gotten sick since I got sick. Period. But the point is, no matter what, at the end of the night, beginning of the morning, middle of the day, me personally, I know in my life right now, the only thing that's missing, the only thing that causes me the most immense amounts of sadness, and that's not having someone to love, not having someone to romance, not having someone to engage in romantic ways, and not having someone also, but the same rapport. Like I honestly, like I don't need the sex. I appreciate it and I love it, and I know for a fact that I've actually had to deal with in the past being too good that girls would keep trying to get, and it's like I never was that guy that told them the straight up truth, like, no, you was a thing that we did, but there's no way you would ever get more from me because not my type, you know, that kind of thing. I've never been like that. But what I'm saying is, when I was talking about Emily earlier, like what I need in my life right now more than anything is the female energy to combine with my male masculine. What I need is the combination of rapport. What I need is that thing, like what we go out on the town together and we like each other and stuff. But at the same time, like me personally, what I think in my head, what I would really appreciate and value and what I would like to have, you know, I'm still young, is someone that we go out and we flirt around with other people because that makes us both appreciate each other more, because we see like how much other people would prefer they when but then at the same time, it's like our thing. Like we do like that, but we mostly like that in the sense of that's how we do it, but we really are with each other, you know, and the chaos and stuff, but also just the rapport of a female mind. There's something about me that realizes, and I don't think a lot of males respect or care about, but it's like there is a very special perspective that you can only get from a female. And I don't know. I was watching this thing with Jordan Peterson and Ben Shapiro earlier, and they were talking about this thing about females and males and just a lot of interesting stuff about the Torah and like the Old Testament and like Adam and Eve and all this other stuff. But mostly, it was this concept of the battle between a male to female, and 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 that's the thing. Like there's very special things that I know for a fact because I've experienced it multiple times. Like I'll tell you straight up, one of my favorite things about going to the strip club was there was my favorite girl, but there was also the other girls, and like they used to joke like, yeah, every guy feels that way, but I also think they discredited it about me specifically. But I've never felt better than when I had two girls in my arms together that enjoyed each other. Like I loved having them enjoy each other. Like I would pay $500 for like maybe an hour with the two of them, but mostly just let them have fun. Like I was usually like, other than massaging feet, like I love massaging like it's not a kink. It's literally strippers spend most of the time on their feet that it's, that like, and those shoes are not always comfortable, like really not, like truly not. They're beautiful. They're fun to look at, and they help for the homage and the clicks and all that good stuff. And when I say clicks, I mean but the point is, I enjoy giving foot massages to strippers, not from a kink level, but from a actual like I like doing it because I know how much they like it. And it's weird because like usually you're supposed to be the one that's pampered. And that's what I was getting at. It's like out of the two stripper girls together, Dylan was her name. I can't remember the other one's name, but Dylan was. Oh man, I miss you, Dylan. Wherever you are, Dylan, Silverdale, Washington, I miss you so much, Dylan. I loved you every time you were with. Like you're the reason I have the jokes. Stripper at a 6-inch heel, therapy at a 6-inch heel, just in general, like therapy from strippers. But like in all reality, um, like they would want to please me because I wasn't seeking it. But that's the thing, because I don't know how to explain it, but mostly when I know I'm paying for it, I can't get fully comfortable about it. All right, though. That's plenty of time. We hit a 2-hour marker, basically. I'm happy about that. Um, I feel like we didn't say anything that would get us in trouble, and I'm pretty content. We got our first. Like I didn't have to make it up as my thing, like what I like to do, like the whole thing. Like you never know if we really have as many people watching and viewing, because I like to do that. That's my thing. Obviously, anyone intelligent would be able to look at the thing and tell that. But the point is, what I'm getting at is, I don't know what VASF dot TECH is, but, and I don't know who Gary Penny is, but I do know that that's a good sign, because that means doing this more or less consistent, we might be able to start draw a bigger following. And I'm very, very on board for that. I'm not necessarily, I mean, monetization would be great, but mostly I'm looking for any way to get to Saturday Night Live. Anyway. So that's my main thing. Otherwise, it's always nice to have people that appreciate what I have to say. And personally, I like Casey a lot. I think Casey brings out the best in me comedically. Tonight, we both are kind of in a depressive state of mind, so it wasn't as much about the humor. But other times, we're goofing and clowning and having a great time. Either way, thank you for joining. Make sure you put a thumbs up, but more importantly, make sure you comment. Especially if you don't like it or you want to talk shit, like do that, because all comments help me, and I like the feedback. And I think it's dumb that people can't put thumbs down on it in YouTube anymore. Like, and that's fine though. Once again, Mama Susan, I don't mind if you want to pick me up. I'll do whatever you want. I will play your game 110 all the way. And I live in LA, so you can find me easy enough. I'm in Koreatown, more specifically. But either way, I appreciate everyone. Thank you, Futures audience, and feel free to contact me, say hi, say what's up. And if you're going through mental stuff or you want to know more about what I'm dealing with, feel free to contact me as well. And I'm more than happy. In fact, I think it's beneficial, and I think more than ever, people need to start being open and sharing about their experiences, about their life, about what they're dealing with, you know? And I'll be honest, tonight, it was bad. I'm worried, but I'm going to keep on this medicine. But I felt amplifications of that sadness. And the thing that scares me the most is not heart palpitations or chest issues or raised heartbeat from medicines or drugs. It's when I feel this like pressure, but it's like in my mind and on my chest and right here and more over like the heart area, and I know exactly why. So here's to the future's audience. Here's to whenever she comes around, whatever girl's smart enough to take me off. You know, they says, why aren't there any good guys out there? Why aren't there any great men? Why aren't there any? You know, they're all gay or whatnot. You know, and I say, I'm not gay, but the more I think about it, I would be constantly, constantly. I get homosexual men coming to me saying things like, "It's such a shame that that dick is not being appreciated," because they're more about sex. Like in all reality, I've known this one thing too about homosexual guys. Typically, once they get what they wanted, then they're just like every other guy, and I don't necessarily appreciate that at all. In fact, it leaves you feeling used. But at the same time, I have an amazing penis, and I also have an amazing body, and I am an amazing lover, and there's a lot of amazing. So that, you know, but more importantly, I'm saying is that the reason you say these things like, oh, there's, you know, they're all gay or whatever. It part of it might be because at some point, you know, just like it's weird, but when you're constantly approached by homosexual men, maybe at some point it's like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just do it because there ain't a single girl out there, you know, that appreciates me or values me or wants to help me or take care or just be in a relationship, you know. But either way, I mean, I know she's out there and she'll take me off the market as soon as she can. But until then, just keep going forward, right? Thanks again, though. I really appreciate all of you. And you really don't have to do anything, but if you do subscribe, click the bell button if you really want to get the notifications. But also, the comments are really chill. Like usually, my dad's one of the only ones that comments, which is fine. But I'd appreciate it. Feedback is good. And also, you can DM me, I think, on here. If you can't, like I said, I mentioned them earlier, but you can go to Instagram, DM me. And if you go to the website, there's also a contact email on the website. You can contact me directly. And, you know, send me messages you want me to talk about. Send things that you want us to discuss. Also, like, truly, like, I mean, nobody likes negativity, but at the same time, feedback is feedback. And at the same time, I love all my haters. And, yeah. So, thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. And, have a wonderful day, morning, night, afternoon. For all I know, you might not wake up tomorrow, right? Be grateful.